Welcome back for the second half with our special guest this evening, Richard O'Donnell, the Rotherham United goalkeeper, former Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper and former everybody else goalkeeper, who's just been around. We'll talk more about just how far around the block he's been in this part two. James Gregg will take us to any number of other sports and any number of other teams in the area. We talked about Jordan Rhodes in the first part, and I was fearful that I was going to have to do what I said I was going to do and appear here tonight and make a profuse public apology after saying last week that my hunch was that Jordan Rhodes was going to join Sheffield Wednesday. Actually, I'd have made the apologies towards the end of the programme when everybody switched off. But I'm telling you now that I was right at this point of the programme.
I can tell you've got a big grin on your face, and it's quite obvious that he did get it right.
These things can go either way. The only thing I was really pleased was. Not a betting man, but actually I did have a bet on.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I did have a bet.
You got quite good odds as well. It's quite impressive. That was it 15 to 8 or something?
15 to 8. Just waited until the odds had gone from evens down to about 2 to 1.
Yeah.
And then my son and I said, well, around that area, we'll have a bet.
Very good.
And it came off, but of course it was a bit of a sweat though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of a sweat. He wouldn't have wanted to be in that position, would you?
No, he wouldn't. He must have been panicking, to be fair.
He must have been. Having been vegetating for the whole season and then this paperwork thing and getting through on time.
Exactly. I mean, I've never been involved in a transfer deadline day deal, but I mean, we were actually speaking about it the other day, and it must be so like rushed, and like he was so anxious that it's all going to get done on time, because it was only 5 minutes to spare in the end, wasn't it? So
well, apparently it was only. I was reading Richard Sutcliffe, I think, in the Yorkshire Post today, saying he understood that the faxes or whatever they went through, you don't say faxes now, whatever, the registrations went through with seconds to go to 11 p.m. I was at Middlesbrough covering their game with West Brom, and following the game I was checking with their media people. And as late as 20 past 10, he was saying to me, look, it is not done. The clubs are still thrashing out this deal. Even then, and that was like with 40 minutes to go, they were still haggling over various aspects of it.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, obviously, it'd be great from a fan's perspective and even from a player's perspective to see like what the panic's all about and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I know there's probably so many different laws, and you probably need a sports lawyer there and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you've said you've not been there on the absolute last kind of limit, but it does take a while, doesn't it? I'm assuming it's got to.
Yeah, good question. How much paperwork is involved?
I mean, is it? I mean, for you probably don't see
what is involved in the transfer.
You do have to sign a lot of papers. Just like I said, that can take 10-15 minutes in itself, and obviously there's a lot of work that goes in it before that. Like I said to you before, that the move to Rotherham was actually like a few weeks in the making, and it can literally take that long. So to get it all done in, someone could literally pick up the phone in the last half an hour of the window and try and get something sorted, and it's literally whether they can do it or not.
I think Jordan Rhodes was sitting at home until lunchtime, or maybe even later, and then was finally, you get yourself down, you can have a medical. But of course, it wasn't just about the medical, that was a provisional thing. And the word on the street seems to be that, OK, Wednesday we're playing hardball, and by the way, fantastic from Depon Chansiri, just doing everything he said he would do, so committed, and bringing a player of this calibre in is an incredible statement to make. But I think they were looking mainly for a loan. Can we have him on loan? And then, OK, if all goes well, we'll buy him in the summer for that agreed price. But I think Middlesbrough said, no, if you take him on loan, you will buy him for this agreed price in the summer. And I think that's what's been decided in the end. Somewhat less than 10, not quite the 10 million that some people are saying, maybe close to 8 million something.
It's interesting, isn't it? It is, and wow, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start with all that kind of stuff, because there's so much, going on.
Some people behind the scenes who probably don't get the credit they deserve must have been working feverishly on that, mustn't they? Lawyers would have been involved.
They would literally be working 18-hour days on the last day of the window, because they're going to have to. Like I said, they had to go till 11 o'clock, and probably beyond that, actually, because although they might have got the paperwork done, there's probably still bits and bobs to be tied up.
That weren't required for the actual registration.
Bonuses maybe and stuff like that. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure myself, but I'm guessing they carried on going as well.
What about the window from a player's point of view? I mean, journalists, we don't like it. We can't stand it. People think we're excited by it. It's a story a day. Actually, it's a pain in the backside. And no manager will tell you they like the window system. What about from a player's point of view?
Well, from a goalkeeper's point of view, it's different this year, and I don't particularly agree with it in terms of, you know, you can't go on loan from after now as well, or is there a certain period that you can't?
The emergency loan window.
Is the emergency loan is totally finished? So I think that really limits the young goalkeepers going out on loan. If, for example, someone got injured in March and then they're stuck having to do with whatever goalkeepers they've got there.
Yeah.
Whereas there might be a young lad at a Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United who can go and get some league games under the belt, and they can't now go and do that. On the other side of it, you've got goalkeepers possibly who are coming to the end of their career who possibly find themselves in a better position because clubs want to stack up on goalkeepers in case they do have injuries.
In case, yes.
So, I mean, there's both ends of it, but I think if you're looking at the future, the young lads don't tend to get as much game time from it. No. So it's difficult from that point of view.
Surely it'd be better if the window was just open. There was no window at all. Then you could make a sensible, structured transfer without a rush and just calculatedly bring it to fruition.
Well, yeah. I mean, everyone sees it on the last day of the window. There's a lot of panic. There is a lot of panic buying. So yeah, I mean, if you had it open for longer, even another month to the end of February or something like that, it'd probably make more sense.
But it would still pack into the last couple of days, even then, probably.
Yeah, probably would. It's crazy. I mean, we ourselves, like we were speaking out on the bus on the way back on Tuesday night about it, and just don't really understand how people don't understand what they need at the beginning of January, try and get it done. And I mean, obviously, I know clubs try and hold out for as long as they can for more money or for whatever reason, and other clubs don't want to pay this and that and other, and it ends up going to the last day, and then people saying, oh yeah, you know, we'll take that in the end because we're not going to get any more, and it does happen, but like you say, you'd like to think that it's a bit more sensible and you can get it done a bit earlier.
So credit to Sheffield United, actually, team you watch a lot of.
Yeah.
I was going to say support, but I can't say
watch a lot of.
Watch a lot of.
Good way to say.
Yeah, diplomatic. I mean, they got most of their business done early. Yeah. Even the two later signings, Jay O'Shea and James Hansen, were with more than a week, 10 days to go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly, yeah. And there was no sort of stressing about, was there, on the last day? No. I think that's testament to Chris Wilder as well. Obviously, did a lot of business in the summer and then thought, right, where could we strengthen? You know, obviously he's had less than a year in the job. Of course, he's going to want to bring another couple in, maybe. But in the summer, you know, you wouldn't expect him to you're probably going to see more going out in the summer than coming in from at Bramall Lane.
And they've also streamlined the actual process of bringing players through the door, so they can expedite it much quicker. So it all makes a great deal of sense. Okay, a bit more chat about the weekend games very shortly.
Yeah.
Me and Richard's obviously joining in with us. In the meantime, there's an awful lot else going on.
There is. I mean, just obviously following on from that, I think a lot of Wednesday fans probably forgot that Wednesday actually drew 2-2 down at Bristol on Tuesday night because of all the excitement about the Jordan Rhodes signing. But I'm sure that they'll be reminded when they look at the table, probably Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon before the game, or even now. I don't want to remind you if it is annoying you, this one, but just slipped out the playoff positions. A game against Wigan on Saturday is a big game, actually. Wigan made some good signings in the transfer window as well, so it's certainly not a gimme. Blades had a week off, of course, but Bolton losing at the weekend was a bit of a Brucey bonus for Chris Wilder's team. Back in action against mid-table Wimbledon at Bramall Lane on Saturday, 3 o'clock. Hallam FC, they're coming off the back of 2 straight losses. Play against Campion from Bradford at the oldest football ground in the world at Sandygate on Saturday, while Sheffield, they play against one of Billy Sharp's former clubs, Rushden and Diamonds, after a win in midweek. That's at the Coach and Horses ground, so plenty of football on Saturday in Sheffield. Whilst the ladies' side on Sunday, they play their first competitive match on the season, but it's unfortunately away at Charlton Athletic. That's in the FA Women's Cup, so good luck to them. Hope they have a good season, by the way, because grueling pre-season and they deserve a lot of success after last.
I met a Donny Bells player last weekend.
Okay.
Where was I? I was doing a game at Rochdale, and she was broadcasting for one of the national outlets there. Sue Smith.
Okay, good player. Played for England, didn't she, and stuff? Yeah,
37, still playing, I think.
Right.
Lovely lady, absolutely brilliant. Great chatting to her, and she was well, informed about what was going on at Sheffield because I talked to her about that.
Yeah, okay.
Delighted to see it. Yeah.
Good man. You're the informant, are you, this time? Rather than informed.
Unusual.
I was going to say, absolutely. That's a change of tack now from the pitch to the ice. The Steelers are in action against Dundee at home on Saturday. It's at home, but it's actually At Sheffield, there's a concert or something on. I don't know, Justin Bieber, someone like that. I don't know who it is actually, but there is a concert on.
Never heard of it.
At the Motorpoint Arena on Saturday, and then they're away at Coventry on Sunday. 2 losses in 24 hours against the same team, Belfast Giants, last weekend. Derailed their sort of title hopes a little bit, but good sort of weekend for them to try and put things back on track against 2 teams that haven't been the best this season. To rugby now, Sheffield Rugby Club, they lost to Nuneaton last weekend, who are the league leaders in National 3 North. Missed a chance to close in on them in obviously top of the league. Back in action next week off for them. So you could watch the Six Nations this weekend, whilst they're not playing, or you could go and watch bottom of the table Sheffield Tigers away at Wharfdale. I think I know which one I'd be doing if I was a rugby fan in Sheffield this weekend. Sheffield Eagles, though, they've pulled off a great signing, actually. I've got to say, they signed Dane Chisholm, who's just been released from Bradford Bulls after their liquidation. Australian fella, fantastic player. I watched him playing for Hull, I think, a few years ago at Headingley against the Leeds Rhinos. What a signing that is from Mark Aston. I mean, he's real quality. Signed on a 1-year deal. They assure everyone that they've not broken the bank with that signing, but brilliant. Play against Oldham on Sunday, first game of the season for them in the Championship, and new look side. I think they brought in 9 or 10 new players. So, yeah, very exciting stuff down for the Sheffield Eagles this season. Good luck to them on Sunday. Sheffield Sharks in great form. Beat Manchester last Friday, play against Worcester this week. Sheffield Hatters as well, good result for them last week. And their coach, Vanessa Ellis, has been named not only Coach of the Month, but also GB's new coach for their youth side as well. So well done, Vanessa. And what about James Woods? Well, James Woods, not a household name in Sheffield by any means, but he competed in the Winter Olympics in Sochi a few years ago, so you might remember his name from that, but he actually picked up a gold medal at the X Games in Colorado last week. What an achievement that is. So looking forward to him competing in the Winter Olympics in South Korea next year. And I've got to finish off by talking about Danny Willett, Matthew Fitzpatrick, 2 Sheffield lads playing in the Dubai Desert Classic. And for the first 2 rounds, they've been paired with Tiger Woods. Pretty cool. And I've spoke to Matt today, and I said to Matt, because he shot 3 under par, he's in the top 20. Willett shot 1 under par. Tiger Woods shot 5 over par. So I said to Matt, why don't you offer Tiger a few shots tomorrow on the first tee?
Yeah.
And I don't think that'll probably be happening, to be honest. But incredible stuff.
Get another message out and see if Tiger will come in on the program.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure he would. I mean, he's not busy.
He'll have heard all about it.
I mean, to be fair, he needs to pick his career up again somehow, doesn't he?
He needs some exposure.
Exactly.
Get him in here. He's bound to. I mean, tell him that Richard O'Donnell's been in.
And then he's bound to come in, isn't he?
I'm so bound to. Before we just leave non-league football, which was one of the subjects there, I was really interested to read about Sheffield FC this week and their manager, James Colliver. Do you know James? Jazz, they call him, Jazz. Very highly regarded younger manager, watches this programme.
Yeah.
And he was complaining, this is in the local press, Sheffield Star, about a backdoor illegal approach, unquote, for striker Anthony Wilson. Complaining about a lack of respect, but saying that the player Anthony Wilson is happy at Sheffield FC and presumably won't be moving. But there've been like backdoor approaches, even at this level. We're used to it higher up.
Transfer controversy in the Northern Counties East League or whatever it is, Evo Stick.
Wow. No, well, football's football, isn't it?
It's nudge, wink, and it always goes on.
Of course it does. Every league will be the same, I'd imagine. I mean, I was reading earlier actually about Bristol City signing the lad from Bristol Rovers.
Yes.
And there's a little bit of controversy over that as well, about how they signed them.
That was to do with a get-out clause, and Bristol City heard what, and it was confidential, what the figure was. It 300,000 or something. Bristol City had heard what the confidential clause, but there's no secrets in football. We're agents around.
Of course.
They said, well, it's 300,000. I haven't said it, you know.
Yeah, of course. Well,
I've told James has told somebody else, and all of a sudden, everybody, people. It happens. It's the way of the world.
I mean, I'm sure you'll agree. I mean, before the programme, you were speaking about your family, and and saying, look, it's a no-brainer. My kids, young, going to be going to school soon, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I had Chris Waddle talking on 5 Live about it, and he was saying, from his perspective, he probably thinks, I don't want to. He might like, might like where he lives. He might have kids at school. He's moving up a division. He's probably earning a little bit more money. For him, he's not bothered about the loyalty. He's not bothered that they're probably all baying for his blood. The club.
Yeah, well, again, I was reading his quotes from this morning. He was sort of saying, listen, people forget that it's a job, and if someone offers you more money to go and play at a higher level. I mean, he said he doesn't support Bristol Rovers and he didn't support Bristol City. You know, it's another job for him, and I think people. Listen, I understand the rivalry and it's all part of football, but I think people sometimes come away from that and forget that, you know, we're trying to earn a living as well, and it's a job for us. So it's something like in any job in the world for any person, if you get offered more money to do the same job, you don't have to. He's in the same city. I mean, it's
not being disloyal. It's just putting your career first. There was a similar situation here with the striker Sam Winnall, you know, who. You know, isn't a Barnsley fan and isn't a Sheffield Wednesday fan, and was just
exactly.
How have I got caught up in all of this? Yeah, well, but there you go.
I mean, Harry Maguire, another example. Harry Maguire, Sheffield United, massive Owls fan. He had a season ticket at the back of the Kop, and then obviously he's coming through the Wednesday, you know, kiddies, and then he goes to United kids and he gets a professional deal there. Perfect for him, actually. It felt perfectly. He got straight in the team pretty much from being 17. I mean, he's a massive Owls fan, but. You know, it's just a way in, isn't it, for him? He's not, you know, he's not bothered. He's not going to be kissing the badge.
I mean, you're an Owl, aren't you?
Yeah,
from way back.
Yeah, I was going to Sheffield Wednesday games when I was 5-6 years old with my uncle. So
But you would have signed for United if there hadn't been a way in at Hillsborough, would you? Now then, that's
no, I was at Sheffield United till I was 15. So I mean, that's that. I mean, that's football. I mean, if one door opens, another one closes, and like I say, again for Harry Maguire. If he stayed at Sheffield Wednesday at the time, he might not have got his career that he's got now. So you have to make decisions, and like you say, it's not that people are being unloyal, although it seems it to the fans because obviously they're caught up in the Sheffield divide, the clubs. But I mean, it's again, like I said earlier, it's a job, and you have to do what you think's right for your family.
Let's follow up on Aaron Ramsdale. We talked about in part one. £1 million plus to Bournemouth. First of all, what do you know of him, and how do you rate him?
I don't know an awful lot about him to be honest, but I know he's very, very highly rated. Not only was very highly rated by Sheffield United, but also by England as well. And obviously, it's a great move for him to go to a Premier League club and show what he can do there and learn from some very good goalkeepers and goalkeeper coaches. So yeah, I think for the club, obviously reported £1 million. Obviously, it's a goalkeeper that's played 2 games for the first team, as we spoke about earlier. So probably not in a position to turn it down. And like I said, they've got cover there, so it's not like you say it's someone who's playing week in, week out. So I think it was right for both parties for him to go. He's rumoured to go to Everton, and obviously he's ended up going to Bournemouth. So for the lad, it's a fantastic move.
He'll be earning a lot more money, but these moves don't always work out, do they? In terms of the football part.
No, again, possibly not. In reality, will it be easy for him to have a career leaving a Bournemouth at the minute? If he was to leave, for example, in 4.5 years, if things didn't go well, would he have more chance of getting a career from leaving Bournemouth? Probably would than Sheffield United at the minute, and going to play. Obviously, it's easier leaving a Bournemouth from a Premier League than it is leaving a Sheffield United from a League One, and that's just the reality of it. Obviously, in 4.5 years, things could change massively, but. Again, the lad's made a decision to go and try and play at the highest level, and who's not to say that he's going to go and play for Bournemouth in the next however many years. Yeah,
it could do it. The lot of a goalkeeper, just looking at your career stats here, you've played for 11 clubs. That includes loans. I think I've counted that properly. You're nodding. So is it 11 clubs that you've played for, including loans? You've had quite a lot of career appearances. I did write that down, but I can't even see it. Oh, over 200. Well over 200 career appearances.
Yeah.
So
that's probably just in the league, actually, isn't it? So
it's
You've moved around to get the games.
Yeah, I think. I mean, as a young lad, obviously, if I'm not going to play, I wasn't going to play in the first team at Sheffield Wednesday, or I wasn't a number 2, and I was needed. Then obviously, it's right for all parties for me to go and get games, and that's what I wanted to do as a young lad. I wanted to go and get experience, to get games, to give myself the best chance to have a career, and obviously it's worked out pretty well that I did go and do that. Not a lot. I mean, I think it's changed a lot in recent times, where it's harder for young goalkeepers to go and get loan moves. So at the time, like I say, I had the opportunities and I took them to go and do it. And like I say, since then, I had a few different clubs that have been permanent. And like I say, because I wasn't playing at that club, I felt it was right to move on. To be honest, I'm at a club now, and I want to stay. I want to stay settled. Like I say, I'm from the area. I want to get my family settled again, and I want to stay at a club for a long period. And
finish your career even up here. I mean, you're only 28, which is young for a goalkeeper, but you see it as a long term.
Yeah, I see this as a long term move for me. I want to stay up here. I think it's a great club to be at. It's an ambitious club, like we said earlier, and I think it'll be a good club to stay at for a number of years.
And just returning to Bristol City, Ashton Gate on Saturday, what's that going to be like for you?
Strange, I think. Obviously, it's only been a few weeks since I left, so it will be strange. But I love my time down there, to be honest. It's a beautiful place to live. We made a lot of really good friends there, not just me, but my wife, with other players' girlfriends, kids that play together and stuff like that. Obviously bought a house down there and stuff, so we were pretty settled down there, to be honest. So, like I say, to go back just 2 weeks after I left, it's going to be strange, but it'll be nice to see a lot of people that we'll miss when we come back up permanently in the middle of the month when my family move up. So it'd be nice to see people. Always got on really well with everyone at the club, staff, fans, players. So
they're not going to give you too much stick then?
I would hope not. You never know. There's probably some people that would want to, because there's some at every club. But I would like to think I'd get a decent reception.
Yeah, does that worry a player? Bother you before you come out? You're thinking, you're wondering, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if they get a good reception.
No, not really. I mean, like I say, listen, whatever club you play for, you're going to have people that love you, and you can probably have people that hate you, and that's just the reality of football. So, like I say, I, as a player and a goalkeeper, whoever I play for, I give everything that I've got to the club I'm playing for, and I've did that at Bristol City. So, hopefully, people recognise that, and I think I'd be all right with a decent reception.
Yeah. Looking to set up home again at Rotherham, or in that area, in the area of Rotherham, and next season in League One. If it's in League One, you would expect a promotion bid, would you? I would. I have to say, looking from the outside.
It's probably not something that you really thought about, is it yet?
No, well, like we said earlier, that obviously in the back of your mind, you've got to have that thought because of where we are in the league. So I'd be lying if I didn't say when I was signing that I had that thought process as well, because it's the reality of it is we're 12 points adrift, so it's going to be difficult. It's doable, like I said to you earlier, but yeah, if we were to go into League One, it's going to be one of the biggest clubs in the league, and like I say, it'd be nice to get good times back and a lot of positivity back as well.
Well, hopefully Sheffield United won't be in League One. Hopefully Rotherham won't either. But
no.
Blades at home to Wimbledon on Saturday. Dave Bassett's going to be there. Dave Bassett, special guest of Sheffield United, with his wife Chris as well. I'm told the family are coming up for the game. Kevin Gage will be interviewing Harry, as he calls him, in the International Bar.
The International Bar.
One of the bars before the game. Kevin Gage is a guest here in a week or two. I think it's in 2 weeks' time. John Newsom's here next week.
Oh, is he? Right, great.
Yeah,
great.
return visit.
Sparring partner, John. Yeah, very good. Look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to seeing both the Sheffield teams in the space of a few hours this weekend, because I'm going to Wigan to watch Sheffield Wednesday for the Daily Mail. I'm working for Sky on the Blades game on Saturday. So I'll get to see them both. And that's a politically correct statement, not favouring one or the other.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I mean, you could do. I mean, but the Daily Mail slightly outweighs it. I'm only kidding.
Hey, and by the way, your former manager at Wigan is now the manager of my team, Chesterfield, Gary Caldwell. We've got 30 seconds left. What do you think?
No, I think he'll be a good appointment. He obviously used to playing a bit different at Wigan than he probably will have to at Chesterfield for the first, certainly till the end of the season, until he gets his own stamp on things. But I think he's definitely a good appointment for him, and hopefully he'll do well.
So do I. Absolutely. You've done well tonight. You've been a very good signing. Second appearance from Richard O'Donnell, and he's kept another clean sheet. What about that? 2 clean sheets. Come back for a hat-trick. James, thanks very much indeed. Thank you, Richard. If you missed 11 p.m. repeat, or it's on my YouTube channel. See you next week. Bye.